goodness. Here I am. Hi. If you missed my beginning, it should be uploaded pretty soon. But here's the article that Cheslie wrote, right? Cheslie wrote this about turning 30, which, was a 30. Yeah, 30 was a big deal for me too, because I thought that I would be married to my ex and I wasn't. Thought I'd have another child by then, but I didn't. So I understand like 28, 30, it's something happens when you turn 30. Okay, so at 28, Cheslie Kryst made history as the oldest Miss USA champion in the pageant's 68-year history, which is really interesting, giving her a unique perspective on the often damaging link between youth and accomplishment. Cheslie also died at 30, right? So she wrote this for turning 30, and she also died at 30. So in this essay, the attorney and Emmy Award-nominated television correspondent reflects on her journey to overcoming the relentless pressure to achieve and how she found fulfillment and purpose in herself. Right? So it's just very, very interesting stuff. Let me see. Can I make this? Wider. Okay, so she says, each time I say I'm turning 30, I cringe a little. Sometimes I can successfully mask this uncomfortable response with excitement. Other times my enthusiasm feels hollow, like bad acting. I would say she has been a really, really good actor for a long time, because the way that no one really knew that this was what she was planning to do, I think is very telling. I am trying to get rid of the ad, but let's not be nitpicky. So, society has never been kind to those growing old. Definitely true. I am wrapping up my time working with those elderly folks, and yeah, society is definitely not on board with taking care of, elderly folks. Occasional exceptions are made for some of the rich and a few of the famous. When I was crowned Miss USA 2019 at 28 years old, I was the oldest woman in history to win the title, a designation even the sparkling $200,000 pearl and diamond Mickey Moto crown could barely brighten for some diehard pageant fans who immediately began to petition for the age limit to be lowered. Interesting. A grinning, crinkly-eyed glance at my achievements thus far makes me giddy about laying the groundwork for more, which I think is very alluring. This is Allure Magazine. I think the idea of stacking up achievements, yeah, like for the sake of stacking them up, like, okay, now I did this, now I can do this. Like, I tell people, like, I got a doctorate in psychology so I could do psychological assessments with kids. I'm not sure I would have done that if, I didn't have to, right? I understand there are people who get doctorates for the sake of getting doctorates. That was not me. I wasn't stacking achievements just to stack achievements. I always had a practical, applicable goal in mind, not to brag, because I tell you, I don't tell people if it's not relevant. I think there's no sense in telling people. And my achievements are not who I am. Like, it's not me. There's things I've done, and my goal has been to bless people with the things that I've done. So, right, laying the groundwork for more. I understand now, right? The things that I have done are helping me to build more, but again, not identified with it. But turning 30s feels like a cold reminder that I'm running out of time to matter in society's eyes, and it's infuriating. In America, I would say this definitely fits like American society of mattering. I think I've heard women say after 35 they were like invisible to men. I don't know if that's like a general or average thing, because I don't know, men also over 30, 35, 40 date. Most of them are not all running after 18 and 20-year-olds. That's just not true. Most people end up with people within their age group. So Yeah, like within 5 years of their age group. But I understand in like wanting to be successful in the eyes of what American society says is successful. I think even actors and singers and all these people will tell you, like, as you get older, people start to stop caring. They start to stop caring. So after a year like 2020, the pandemic, you would think, which has been stressful to a lot of people, and I think I have a atypical opinion on how the pandemic was handled in certain states, because while I understand the cost of human life as a result of COVID killing people, I also understand the ramifications of mental health also killing people. Not as quickly, right? The COVID was knocking people out in 2 weeks, but mental health illness concerns decreases one's quality of life and can even lead to death, like we see in young Cheslie's case. So yes, you would think we'd learn that growing old is a treasure and maturity is a gift not everyone gets to enjoy. Far too many of us allow ourselves to be measured by a standard that some sternly refuse to challenge and others simply acquiesce to, because fitting in and going with the flow is easier than rowing against the current. And so this is where the psychology comes in, because this sounds like projection. This literally sounds like what she has been doing, right? She has been refused. Like, she's talking about it in this article, but then shortly after, she decided to end her life. Refusing to challenge and others simply acquiesce to, because fitting in and going with the flow is easier than rowing against the current. I wholeheartedly agree. Fitting in, doing what the people say, wanting to be just like everybody else, not wanting to stand out is what most people are doing. Most people are not going against the current. Hence my channel. Hence, can you help me get the algorithm to help me spread my message to more people? I am definitely one of those people who are going against the current. I'm like, I don't, but I also didn't really grow up here. But, I'm also like, yeah, I'm just, yeah. You need to go against the current, especially in this world, to be your best self, like be happy with yourself, because the society is going to continually tell you that you're not enough because they want to sell you something. They just want you to buy something. So she says, I fought this fight before, and it's the battle I'm currently fighting with 30. How do I shake society's unwavering norms when I'm facing the relentless tick of time? Imagine that at only 30. Imagine that. That just seems so lonely and so sad. It's the age-old question. What happens when immovable meets unstoppable? To be fair, I didn't spring from the womb, sword in hand, to fight the good fight, and I am certainly not exempting myself from belonging to the go with the flow crowd on occasion. I didn't read this article beforehand, but isn't this what I just said? I remember being enamored by 20 under 20. I'm not enamored by 20 under 20. And 30 under 30 list. I'm not enamored by 30 under 30 list either. I'm not. I'm not. I think there are always exceptions to the rule. There are always 12-year-olds making millions of dollars. There's gonna be a 21-year-old who gets startup money from somewhere you don't know about, right? That does something big and beautiful. But it's like, if you understood what it took for people to get what they have, you wouldn't want it. So like, none of these things appeal to me. I like, yay you, definitely yay you, but I'm not enamored. I'm not enamored, because you can be successful at any point in life. Okay, these lists that tied achievement to youth and call it success, lists that are surely intended to recognize the rarity of accomplishing outstanding feats at a young age. Yes, it's rare. And so I don't even get caught up with not being one of them. It's rare, and I don't have to be a rare one. But they had an unfortunate side effect on some young people who felt encouraged to hoard accomplishments as fast as possible in order to measure up to peers. This again sounds like a reflection on self. Like, she's saying, I felt encouraged to hoard accomplishments as fast as possible in order to measure up to my peers. And so, before I started this new live stream, I was talking about ease and finding the balance, and not hustle, being a part of this hustle culture. It's not necessary to always being on the go, trying to distract yourself with busyness so that you don't hear your own thoughts. Like, I need you to be able to reflect on your own thoughts, When you're going to sleep at night, I don't want you to be kept up with them. Let them flow in and out, and you don't have to be identified with them. Okay. So it's just, yeah, this is tough. I think this is so much of what American culture has taught people, especially when it comes to like going to college. Like everybody don't need to go to college. Like if you don't want to go to college, don't go to college. You don't have to go to college to be successful. And I know that's kind of what they tell people. I mean, I have a lot of degrees, but like I say, I had an end goal in mind. I think it's helpful to start with what's your end goal? Like, why do you want to do this? What's the whole point of it? Are you doing it because somebody told you to do it? Is this genuinely what you wanted to do? I've known I wanted to be a psychologist since I was 16 years old. I met a psychologist, Black woman psychologist, and I was like, that's because I already knew I wanted to help people in some way, wanted to work with kids in some way. I knew that. Didn't know exactly how. And when I met a psychologist, like, in that moment of I see you, you see me, we see each other, I was like, this is exactly what I want to do. This is the work I want to do. And so that's what I did. That's why I got a degree. Like, I didn't get a degree to impress my mother or so that people could call me doctor. That's not why I did it. I'm telling you, that's not, I don't think wanting people to call you doctor is a good reason to get a degree. It's a reason, but I'm telling you, like your soul being happy and being able to enjoy the most out of life, I think don't wait for them to call you doctor. What happens if they don't call you doctor? You don't get mad? So when I graduated from college and opted to continue my studies at Wake Forest University, I decided I'd earn a law degree and an MBA at the same time. Why stop at 2 degrees when you can have 3? I didn't want to get my first master's because there was really no point in it. I mean, God knew there was a point in it, but I didn't think there was any point in having 2 masters. I what's the point? Lord help me. I needed the experience. There was another experience I needed, but I wasn't just trying to rack up degrees just to rack up degrees. I joined a trial team at school and won a national championship. I competed in moot court, won essay competitions, and earned local, regional, and national executive board positions. That's fantastic. I nearly worked myself to death. Good God. I nearly worked myself to death, literally, until an 8-day stint in a local hospital sparked the development of a new perspective. Wow. Wow. That is tough. I'm thinking, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be successful. I don't think there's anything wrong with you saying, I want to be the next CEO of a Fortune 500 company. I don't think anything is wrong with that. I think the reasoning behind why you want it is might be what gets you into trouble. These kind of statements I don't take lightly. To work yourself nearly to death, literally, after working, oh my gosh, after working like that, and then having to go to the hospital. Like you have to be in a really detached place from your needs. You have to be able, like, I'm just thinking, even like your chakra, like your throat chakra has to be blocked, that you can't say no. Like there's so many areas that I can think of that need improvement when somebody says something like this. Like this is like the ultimate red flag. This is so concerning to me. And if people knew she was in the hospital, I don't know, 8 days in the hospital. I mean, she probably had like dehydration or I don't know, heart things. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's very concerning. I discovered that the world's most important question, especially when asked repeatedly and answered frankly, is why. Why earn more achievements just to collect another win? I feel like this one has been like over the media. They've shared this quote. Why earn more achievements just to collect another win? Then it's not, to me, it's not worth it. If it's just another win, it's just another thing I'm stacking up doing. Why pursue another plaque or medal or line item on my resume if it's for vanity's sake? I agree. Why rather than out of passion? Why work so hard to capture the dreams I've been taught by society to want when I continue to only find emptiness? The empath in me wants to cry. This is so sad. This is so sad. Oh my God, this is so sad. I mean, I know what it's like to feel empty. Like I've made a video on my channel, I think before, about loneliness, emptiness. I know what that feeling is like. And then using, because I think everything is an opportunity. I think even like I'm really like this is so sad. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video about her is because I was moved by her death. Because in this world where you have achieved, not you, her, Cheslie has achieved so much of what the people say you should want, and still not being happy. I think it's so telling that all the time I still like all these external things. External validation is not going to feed your soul. Like you have to feed your soul from the inside. You actually have to acknowledge the God in you to feel full and happy and worthy. And all of this, when I continue to find only happiness, emptiness, I'm happy. When I continue to find only emptiness, I mean, this is why I do the work that I do. Like I literally specialize in trauma, dual diagnoses, and helping people get from this emptiness feeling, helping them not hate themselves and the world, and to actually enjoy life. This is so sad. Oh my gosh. Too often I noticed that the only people impressed by an accomplishment were those who wanted it for themselves. Stage moms. I don't know if her mom was a stage mom, but it's that idea of other people projecting onto you what it is that they want to see. It's a lot. Meanwhile, I was rewarded with a lonely craving for the next award. A lonely craving for the next award. Did anybody who knew this woman in real life read this? Did anybody read this? What did they do when she handed this into the article people? They were like, oh my God, so raw. I love it. You were so real. Is that what they did? Because me, baby girl, do you have a therapist? Huh? Have you told your mom some of this? What about your friends? Do you have a partner? Have you expressed this to people? Is there something you want to stop doing that will help you feel more whole inside? Because this is a little painful for me. Meanwhile, I was rewarded with a learning curve for the next award. Some would see this hunger and label it competitiveness. Others might call it the unquenchable thirst of insecurity. Competitiveness and insecurity are the same thing. Being competitive, right? I see them. I want to win. I want to beat. I want to get faster. I want to be the youngest. I want to, that's all a comparison to other people. It's the same thing as being insecure. And this young lady is clearly insecure. Clearly insecure. I was further along in the journey of learning this lesson when I won Miss USA. My term was not an exercise in the expected. Instead, it felt filled with purpose. In fact, from the moment I won, my reign ignited a heightened desire to commit myself to passion, intent, and authenticity. That's beautiful. Pageant girls are supposed to be model tall and slender, Don Buffon hair, and a killer walk. But my 5'6" frame, I'm 5'5", one with six-pack abs, earned after years of competing in Division I track and field and ahead of natural curls in a time when generations of Black women have been taught that being too Black would cost them wins in the boardroom and on pageant stages. Yeah, she might be too Black for some, but she's, according to Black people, she's not too Black. She's light skinned. She has like 3B here. She's palatable for whiteness. My challenge of the status quo certainly caught the attention of the trolls, and I can't tell you how many times I have deleted comments on my social media that had vomit emojis and insults telling me I wasn't pretty enough to be Miss USA or that my muscular build was actually a man body. Imagine having what society considers the desirable body and looks, and then for people to still tell you, no, you're not. That's weird. People are weird. People are hurt. People are hurt. And that was just my looks. My opinions, on the other hand, were enough to make a traditional pageant fan clutch their pearls. Women who compete in pageants are supposed to have a middle of the road opinion, if any, so as not to offend. I talked candidly about my views on the legalization of marijuana, the Trump administration's immigration policies, anti-abortion laws, the confirmation of Justice Amy Coney Barrett, and the successes and failures of criminal justice reform. I openly supported the resurgence of the Black Lives Matter movement and marched in protest over the summer. I wasn't searching to collect more awards or recognition during my reign. Rather, I felt the passion that made waking up each morning feel worthwhile. So 28, she won Miss USA at 28. She took her life at 30. She decided this is like an epiphany, an awakening moment here. I'm not gonna do these things that people out there are telling me are worthwhile. I'm gonna do what I feel is worthwhile. You know, it's not exactly easy going against the grain. Yeah, it's not exactly easy, and I would hate to have been doing that and being famous. Yeah, because fame, money amplifies everything. And so then you just have to do it more. Like I don't have any trolls. Like I barely have a troll. I barely, hold on. Man, the emotions. I barely have a troll. I have like a couple videos that I've gotten negative comments, but that's because I'm also really small. Imagine once I get even more, you just get more eyes looking at you, people telling you what they think, even though nobody asks them. It's difficult. So my 29th birthday felt very emblematic of the season I'm looking forward to entering. In a time when extravagant birthday bashes are the gold standards of celebrations, I don't believe her. I was happily stuck in my apartment, parading around in a black silk top, matching shorts, and a floor length robe, while scarfing down banana pudding and screening birthday calls. I even wore my crown around the apartment for most of the day, knowing I'd have to give it back at the end of my reign as Miss USA. I did what I wanted rather than the expected. I don't think she was happy, but I wasn't there. So now I enter year 30, searching for joy and purpose on my own terms, and that feels like my own sweet victory. It feels like my own sweet victory. I found that to be profoundly sad. I found that to be profoundly sad. And I mean, I wanted to read it because I did think it would give some insight into Madame Cheslie taking her own life, and what it takes to get to the emptiness. Right? It's doing what other people want you to do, not doing what you feel like doing, not exploring what you're actually passionate about, not asking yourself, what do I want? When you ask yourself, what do I want? Then you're able to work on those things. But then it's also still a practice that I don't think she got to practice because, and I don't know, but the pandemic was stressful for a lot of people. And maybe she was happy being at home. But I don't know many people who just want to sit down and do nothing on their birthday. Even me, there are places like, what did I do for I know I didn't do much, but I wanted to go to the park during the pandemic when they closed everything. I was upset that the parks were closed and I couldn't go running. I didn't like the idea that I couldn't go to my botanical gardens. Like all these things were closed. It was very frustrating. So I don't want to sit down and do nothing for my birthday. Like there are still things I want to do outside the house that are fun. I love staying home, but there's still things I want to do. It's a battle, but remember what I want you to take from this is find some ease in your life. Figure out the balance between what you want, what's expected of you. Live a life that you genuinely want. I think even in the Black women and luxury discussion, I personally find that luxury is being able to do what I want with my time, having that freedom of time. Right? Like I'm switching. I mean, I have my job that I currently have now because of flexibility and time and access and all those things. I needed some time to build certain things. Now that I have built certain things, I'm ready to get back to working a little bit harder to do what fulfills me, like from the inside, my soul, my passion. That's working with kids. I love kids so much. I love them so much. So remember, I am not from around here. I'm not from around here. So I'm indoctrinated a little differently, right? The things that have been expected of me have been a little bit different. Definitely the expectation was I was gonna go to college, but nobody expected me to get my doctorate. I said I was gonna do that. That's a goal I set for myself. Um, but I've had the overachieving bug. I've had the being a people pleaser bug, like all those things that I've had to work at. And in one of my last videos was that my spiritual journey, figuring out how to say no, figuring out what it is that I really want, all of those things like take practice, finding peace, letting go of chaos, letting go of bad relationships, like finding the right fit, not perfectionism, not what somebody else says, but like finding the right fit for you, for what you want. And what we all want is different because we're wired differently. I'm one of those old souls. I came in and I saw spirituality and I was like, yes, that's what I want. Spirituality, psychology, mind, body, soul, those things are really important to me. What's important to you is going to be different. Whatever it is that you want, whatever desire you have, it's achievable. It's a goal that you can work on. So I hope that we take Cheslie's life, her experience in she had a powerful last 2 years as an example of, hey, remember, do what you want. Do what you want because people are going to talk either way. So whatever makes you happy and satisfies your soul is what's most important. All right. So let me just go over some reminders. You can check out my website, spiritsoulsense.com. It's got my poetry book on there and some artwork. I will be adding merch soon. I feel like I've said that in my last 2 lives, but I have actually worked on designs. So it's coming. I'm going to do t-shirts and mugs to start with. And then, dabble in something else later. And then you can request a session with me. You really can request a session with me. I'm seeing folks with spiritual life coaching. If you are introduced to me here on YouTube, I want you to do some spiritual life coaching. I'm not exactly comfortable with getting my referrals from YouTube for trauma. I'm still teasing it out, but request a session with me and we can talk about some things and figure out what will be the best fit for you. My goal is to help you experience as much joy and peace as possible because living here in Earth School is chaos and I want you to be able to live the life of your dreams. All right. Let me know what you think in the comments. Remember to like, share, subscribe to my channel, and thank you so much for watching.